Right friends, welcome back to Learning Space. This is the Q&A discussion session number 30. I know very well that it is not reasonable on my part to try to put many things into your brain at this last moment, and that is the reason why I have taken just the things which are known to us. I am not including any new things at this last moment. And one important suggestion is, don't try to grab or look at the new things at this last moment. Today and tomorrow, please do not try to look at the new things which you have not known. And now at this juncture, the most important aspect is to have clarity of thought. And I believe that if clarity of thought is with you, then you will reach much greater heights. So what is required is clarity of thought and peace of mind. Don't try to look at various new things like art and culture, environment at this moment. That will unnecessarily make your mind clumsy. So please leave all those aspects. Whatever you know with clarity of thought, try to recapitulate those things for further clarity at this moment, right? So peace of mind, clarity of thought will take you to much and much greater heights, either today or tomorrow. Please keep that in mind and go to the examination with the peace of mind. Look at the first one. Rustom 2 is recently in the news. It is a medium altitude range endurance unmanned aerial vehicle. So it is MALE unmanned aerial vehicle. Its name is Tapas 201 and it is designed and developed by Aeronautical Development Establishment of DRDO, and this is tested at Chitradurga. So please correct the third sentence. And it can also be used as an unmanned armed combat vehicle. So 1, 2 and 4 is correct. Seaweed farming is often in the news. Seaweed farming, here this is the practice of cultivating and harvesting seaweed, and across the world if you see, China is leading in seaweed production, and China and Indonesia are the countries leading in seaweed farming. Then seaweed cultivation also filters several undesirable nutrients. This is very important. Seaweed cultivation also filters several undesirable nutrients and improves the marine environment and reduces eutrophication. We already learnt about what is meant by eutrophication, and all three correct. The fundamental process of orderly degradation and recycling of cellular components, for which the Nobel Prize was awarded recently, and this is known as autophagy. The next one is, which of the following organization decided to set up an independent rating agency based on market-oriented principles in order to further strengthen the global governance architecture? So here BRICS countries decided to have independent rating agency. So BRICS decided to have independent credit rating agency. Please don't forget. Then CCA MLR is quite often in the news, and India is a member of this convention, please understand. And recently Ross Sea was declared as marine protected area. This is another thing. And Ross Sea is a part of Southern Ocean or Antarctic Ocean, and this is the international convention created with the objective of conserving Antarctic marine life. India is also a member of this convention, please don't forget. Look at the following sentences. ICJ, ICC, please have clarity. International Court of Justice is the judicial organ of United Nations, headquartered in The Hague. Both ICJ and ICC are headquartered in The Hague, Netherlands. And here ICJ does not look at individuals, most important, but individuals' concerns can be taken care by the states, or you can say states can represent on behalf of individuals. And here if the parties do not comply, what is the outcome? the issues may be taken before the Security Council for enforcement action. So, the matter can be taken up to UNSC if the countries do not comply. Then International Criminal Court, please understand, India is not a member of ICC and it has got jurisdiction to prosecute individuals for the international crimes of genocide, crimes against humanity and war crimes. Two things don't forget. One is the Rome Statute, based on which ICC is established. Second one is, after the ICC came into existence, only African nationals were brought to book, right? So, these two things don't forget. Here both 1 and 2 correct. India has recently joined the Hague Code of Conduct. Here look into these sentences. It is the global initiative. It is the global initiative to prevent ballistic missile proliferation. And it is the multinational code negotiated outside the context of the United Nations system. And when the countries subscribe to Hague Code of Conduct, then voluntarily the countries are committing themselves to provide pre-launch notifications on ballistic missiles as well as space launch vehicle launches. So, PLNs, space launch vehicle launches, with regard to these two, pre-information will be provided to Hague Code of Conduct and members commit voluntarily. That is very important. India recently decided to join HCOC. It is outside the context of UN system and it is the global initiative to prevent ballistic missile proliferation. Then look at the following. Here one important aspect is International Monetary Fund releases World Economic Outlook, Global Financial Stability Report. These two are released by IMF, Ease of Doing Business by World Bank, Global Competitiveness Report by World Economic Forum. So, these things please don't forget. Here only 1 and 2 correct. INS Arihant, these things from examination perspective please keep in mind. INS Arihant is the country's first nuclear powered submarine. We have discussed the difference between conventional submarine and nuclear submarine. Nuclear submarine can stay underwater for more time because it need not come to the surface because it does not require air. That is one part. And we came across this Scorpion class of submarines. INS Kalvari, INS Khanderi are the Scorpion class of submarines. They are not nuclear submarines. They are Scorpion class of submarines with more stealth features. And here these are conventional powered submarines and built by DCNS of France at Magicon Docks Limited. And another important aspect is INS Chakra. This is also nuclear powered submarine that is under lease from Russia. And this INS Chakra will assist INS Arihant as India decided that the capability of this nuclear triad was already available with India. So, INS Chakra will assist INS Arihant and both are nuclear powered, but Scorpion is not nuclear powered. So, all three correct. Domestic systemically important banks. Globally, there are around 30 systemically important banks. In India, RBI designated SBI and ICICI as systemically important banks because systemically important means their collapse may lead to impact on the domestic financial system. So, please read the sentences. SBI and ICICI are designated as systemically important banks. The meaning of DSIPs is these are the banks whose failure would have an impact on the domestic financial system or real economy. Then these domestic systemically important banks are required to keep higher level of capital adequacy ratios. Absolutely correct. So, all three correct. In economy, crowding out is quite often in the news. Crowding out, crowding in, two things please don't forget. In the economy, basically we tell that when the government increases expenditure, when government increases expenditure, that may crowd in private investment. At the same time, if government resorts to more and more deficit financing, the meaning is if government is borrowing more and more money from the market, then what happens? The private sector may crowd out. Why? When government is borrowing more and more from the market, the pension funds, insurance funds, let us take for example LIC, they may invest more in government bonds, then the resources available for private sector may be reduced. So, more government expenditure may crowd in private investment, and when government is borrowing more from the market, it may crowd out private investment. So, by the by, what is the meaning of crowding out? It is the situation when government borrows more and more money through deficit financing, and as a result, there will be substantial reduction on the spending and investment activities of the corporate sector. This is the meaning of crowding out. India switched over to Bharat stage 4. Only to make you remember, I have given this. India is planning to introduce BS6 from 1st April 2020. This requires modifications not only to the engines of the vehicles, but also the petroleum refiners have to make changes. So, petroleum refiners have to supply this fuel compliant to the standards. They have to make some changes in the refineries. Then vehicle manufacturers have to make some changes in the manufacturing process of the engines. So, both are required to make changes, and because of switching over to BS4 from BS3, pollutants released into the atmosphere are reduced, particularly nitrogen oxides, and most important is particulate matter from diesel vehicles will be reduced substantially. All three correct. Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, it involves mandatory deposit of 25% of undisclosed income with the lock-in period of 4 years, and the deposit will be totally interest free. Please correct the second sentence. Government recently announced maternity benefit program. As per the government notification, it is applicable for only one living child. That is important. Please correct the second sentence. The cost will be between center and the states. Please correct the first sentence also. Please correct 1 and 2. Third one is correct. Overall benefit to the pregnant woman is rupees 6,000. Then National Mineral Exploration Trust, District Mineral Foundation. The difference must be clear in your mind. What is the purpose of National Mineral Exploration Trust? The purpose is to promote exploration in the country, to look at the mineral resources. So, National Mineral Exploration Trust main aim is to promote exploration in the country and established with the leaseholders of the mines contributing 2% royalty to NMET. Then District Mineral Foundation, this is a statutory body, and the main purpose is to look at the welfare of the persons affected because of mines. For the new leases, 10% of the leasing money will go to district mineral foundations. So, district mineral foundations are basically established to look at the welfare of the persons affected because of mines, and this is the statutory body, please don't forget. Then FATF is quite often in the news. This is the intergovernmental policy making body. It sets international standards for combating money laundering and terrorist financing. India is a member of FATF, absolutely correct, but not OECD. India is not a member of OECD, but a member of FATF. So, all three correct. Look at the following sentences with regard to Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India accounting year is July to June, please understand. It transfers surplus to the central government because central government is the promoter of the institution, and this is non-tax revenue as far as central government is concerned. All three correct. So, it will be non-tax revenue to the central government. South Asia Sub-Regional Economic Cooperation or SASEC is in the news. And please look into these sentences. ADB is the lead financier of SASEC program, and it also houses the secretariat. That is most important thing. And there are 7 members in SASEC, and out of 7, 6 are from South Asian countries, and Myanmar is the only country from Southeast Asia. It is the project based partnership. What is the purpose of SASEC? The purpose is to promote regional prosperity by improving cross-border connectivity, boosting trade among the member countries. So, all 3 sentences correct. Look at the next one. Which of the following is incorrect? Here some words are given. Please understand. Anchor investors. These are the institutional investors who are offered shares in the IPO before the offer opens. So, please correct the first sentence. So, first one is incorrect. Please correct after as before. So, these anchor investors are the institutional investors who are offered shares in an IPO before the offer opens. Then 2, 3, 4 are correct. Green Growth Equity Fund, please understand, this is the joint UK-India fund under NIIF, very important. Under NIIF framework, this Green Growth Equity Fund is the joint UK-India fund, and this is basically to leverage private sector investment for green infrastructure projects. Then Tobin tax, it is the tax on spot currency conversions. Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences was given for contract theory. Contract theory is the comprehensive framework for analyzing many diverse issues in contractual design like performance pay for top executives, etc. So, these things please don't forget. Last one for this year, Minamata Convention. Before examinations, this is the last question. Minamata Convention to protect human health and environment from anthropogenic emissions and the release of mercury and mercury compounds. Sendai framework, this pertains to disaster risk reduction. Marrakesh for VIP, that is visually impaired persons treaty. So, these 3 correct. Right friends, with this we concluded 30 sessions of Q&A discussion, and please have clarity of thought, peace of mind, go to the examination and think twice before answering the question, because 2-3 sentences will be there. Which of the above sentences is or correct is given. So, think for a while before answering the question. So, most important for civil services examination is clarity of thought in your mind. And if you have clarity of thought, you will reach much greater heights. Please have confidence. Please keep peace of mind. Please have sufficient sleep. Right? So, please wake up on Sunday just like any other Sunday. That indicates that you are not under stress. Right? So, have a nice day and wish you all the best for this weekend's civil services preliminary examination. Thank you. Learning Space wishes all of you to reach greater heights. Thank you. Thanks a lot.